Hey everyone, this is Queenie Clam with Queenie's and Ellen Book Talk Show. And I'm your literary ambassador. And my co-host is
Ellen Sutter of ESP Presents and ESP Book Chat, where we bring page turners your way.
all right. Tonight our book discussion is taking flight from War of Orphan to Star Ballerina. And this is the book. We are going to discuss the first 4 or 5 chapters. So you can take the floor, Miss Ellen.
Okay, so we want to talk about that first one, which is the prologue, and it is talking about the Black Swan. The reason why we want to grab that, this is all like something that she pictured, and she's going to bring you right into her journey. So we're going to talk about the being that Black Swan. So Miss Queenie, being
Yeah.
that Black Swan, I really like the beginning, and I'm not going to read the whole thing because we don't want to give all away, but when she talked about I stand in the wings dressed in lush black tutu embellished with black feathers and blood red flowers, a silver tiara studded with crystal rhinestones crowns my head, which pulls tightly back in a thick bun. What did you think about that? We're only going to deal with that part. We're not going to give that whole thing away. What did you think about that when she talked about that?
That she was the main. It's all about her,
Mm-hmm.
and everything around being a ballerina was not, everything. And she like in this bubble where she was trying to live and be this particular character or whatever you want to call it. But it was like she was in a dream.
I was thinking so too, like a dream, because they gave that beautiful rendition
Mm-hmm.
of that Black Swan. And then they take us into our next phase, which is the house on the right.
The house on the right.
Yeah, let's go to that one, the house on the right. And that's chapter 1. So we're going to give some small hashtag spoilers. We're not going to give it all away. But I just wanted to go into, like I say, bits and pieces. I like the way she talked about herself. I was Michaela DePrince before I was Michaela. She gives you that introduction. I like that. She said, I was Michaela DePrince, but before I was Michaela DePrince, I was Mabente Bangura. And then it goes right into that dark, dark story of her life. What did you think about that? From that Black Swan to finally going into Mabente's orphan state where she really is. What do you think about that?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank Karen just came on. So good afternoon, Karen. Karen, thank you for joining our book discussion on Taking Flight. Chapter 1 from the house on the right. Um, it was like you say, giving us an introduction into the beginning of her life, where it first started to who and what she was,
Uh-huh.
and where she came from, um, and the significance of the chapter title "From the House on the Right." That made me think, well, what's going on over here on the left?
Mm-hmm.
Is it worse
Mm-hmm.
or better? Like the grass is always green on the other side type analogy. Hey,
Yeah.
LaRonda, how you doing? Hey,
Hello,
LaRonda.
everybody is on there. Queenie can see y'all. I'm looking from my tablet so that I can keep on track with, because I'm a talker. You guys know that with our time and everything. So right in the middle of the paper, if you look at it, go down some. Um, what I wanted to talk about was when she talked about her family. Her
Mhm.
her parents described her as this beautiful girl with a sharp cry and a personality of a prickly um, African hedgehog. What do you think about that? And then plus they did describe that she has the condition of vertigo. So what do you think about that? The way her parents describe her. And we're going to go into what her uncle said.
I didn't like how they describe her as no hedgehog, but there might be good, there might be, but I think of it as being bad.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't like that I didn't like how they, well, the way I perceived in my mind that was something bad.
Hmm. And see,
Hey,
when I look at it as we go into the other one, it's for me, like you said, I didn't like the description, but being that
mhm,
they were looking at where she is now with the vertigo, how people treated her like a devil.
mhm,
They see she's devil. She had spots. She had leopards, and so I thought maybe her parents gave her the best of whatever the worst that people was telling her. So if he would have said a beautiful swan, this and that and all that, I personally would have thought that she would have just like, you're my parents. Of course, you're gonna make me feel good. But
mhm.
being this prickly hedgehog, at least is something that she can say, okay, I'm prickly, I'm sharp, I am all these things, and she can embrace that better than it's better than saying
Mhm.
spotted leopard and devil child, the lesser of the two or the greater of the two,
Yeah.
if you want to say so. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome, Send Chocolate. How you doing? And Thea, welcome, Thea. We're doing our book discussion on Taking Flight. Oh, I'm all the way over here.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the
And
book
it's a
we're
true
discussing,
story.
and it is a true story, as Miss Ellen said. How are y'all doing? Welcome, Miss Sue. Miss Sue in the house. How you doing?
Hello, Miss Sue.
All right, all right. So what we're gonna talk about?
We're gonna talk about her uncle. Now, the uncle
We
got
talk about
very
her parents first, because I don't want to talk about them.
I know you don't want to talk about that, but it gets a little further in that. But in this chapter, it doesn't really break it down what's going on with the parents, other than the spoilers that we want to give. Um, they just gave the description of their child, even though they call a leopard, and nevertheless the parents celebrate the arrival of the baby.
Baby.
So,
She
mm-hmm.
had very good parents, just that uncle was
Did
chain.
yeah.
They really loved her regardless. Her daddy didn't want her being domestic. He wanted her to
Mm-hmm.
be educated before
Yes.
he died. The mother was emphasizing that also, which education, you need that education to move further. And they talked about her going about the USA, and
Mm-hmm.
she was excited about hearing about the USA. She never met American. Um, but then devastation happens, and she ends up with at the uncle's house. Yeah,
Who you hate.
yes,
So
I do not like.
let's just go to the uncle's description before we go into the love to hate character. So we have the older brother, which is Abdullah. Abdullah, of course, at this time he shakes his head because he said unfortunate. It's not a fortune to have her, and also he said she was an unfortunate child. He
Mm-hmm.
said that she is a worthless spotted girl child. And he also says she would never be a good bride price. Here she is, she's a little girl, 3, 4 years old, and he's already thinking of the future, that what she would never be. And then also just his parents left. So what did you think about that part?
He was evil, having I think 3 wives and 14 kids.
13 kids, one of
13,
which is,
which was a boy, but that's
yep,
what he wanted, a boy. He despised women to me.
yeah, he
Again,
did.
a harsh word. He despised women. He only wanted sons. Women wasn't worth nothing but to be domestic, which is
Mm-hmm.
untrue. And once her parents were deceased, the uncle took her in, but then he didn't want that when her mother died of some kind of fever or got sick.
Yeah, lots
He
of
didn't want
fever.
anything to do. He didn't want his children, well, his prized possession, his son, to let the disease get in his house where his son will be affected. He really didn't care about his wives or his girls. He mostly cared about him and his sons. So he took her away. He didn't want her in the home, even though this was his niece
Mm-hmm.
family.
Yeah, and so Mabinti
Well,
would Mabinti would what you say?
I was trying to call. I said, "Excuse me."
Oh, I'm sorry. So Mabinti reflects a little bit on how her before the passing of her parents, she
Yes.
reflects on how the different times he beat them and how he don't want her educated and how he would come to her father. Abdullah said, "This is wrong. You should not educate that girl. She don't need to have that. It is a waste of time." What do you think about him saying that, it is a waste of time to educate versus his brother? He
Yeah.
don't feel that way.
Well, I applaud his brother for stepping up and saying, "This is what's going to happen in my home. What you do in your home to the left, you can do, but over here on the
Mhm.
right, we ain't doing that."
We ain't
And
doing that.
she hated her uncle. I think she did use that word hate because
Mhm.
he beat on his girls and wives, and he thought that they were merely peasants to him.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's a reflection in here too, how that Abdullah would tell her father that you need another woman, you need a second wife. You don't, your wife is too docile, so to speak, and you need to beat her. You need to beat
Yeah.
her.
Oh,
And
Baba Joe is in the house. Good
hey,
afternoon,
Baba
Baba Joe.
Joe.
Baba Joe, Baba Joe. All right.
And he tell her that she thinks she's above all things and above cooking and cleaning, and he want her to do those domestic things: cook, clean, stay at home, married and barefooted, pregnant and barefooted. Did not want her to be educated. What was your highlight in that?
Same thing. Just we're more than that. We have
Yes,
a brain. We're intelligent. We don't have to do everything. Don't have to be domestic. I understand these were your wives and they did domestic, but that's all you wanted them to do. You didn't want them to move forward and progress and be better. You wanted to keep them down here under you at all times. You were the king. You're the king. Men are the kings of their castle. It wasn't nothing else.
nothing else at all. And so that Usman, he was from the first wife. You would think that he would treat her better because she had his prized
Yeah.
possession son, but still
Mm-hmm.
he beat her.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't even matter to her. But his son didn't seem like he was like him. His son didn't seem like that.
Well, I only got to chapter 8, but I'm praying that that
Mhm.
son took a turn and went the other way and wasn't as extreme as his father was.
Mm-mm. He didn't do all that. But the house on the left, let's go to that. That is chapter 2.
That's talking about his what went on in his house, the
Mm-hmm.
uncle's house.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what's going on in the uncle's house.
He just was as evil as all get out. He didn't care. It wasn't about him. Um, you see how I think that's in chapter 3 where he threw her over. They was walking to the next village to
Mm-hmm.
give her up, and somebody he knew in a truck came and he gets in the bed of the truck or the cab of the truck or whatever you call it. He
Yeah.
threw her over there in a puddle in the back of and like he just like women were rags.
Petal.
He
Yep.
could just
Red
go
Cross
and do
petal.
whatever he pleases to do. I would love to get in touch with her and the author I would like to learn more. What made that uncle that way?
Yeah,
Was was it society, or was it something his dad did, his mom that he seen? Or I know it's culturally because you can marry as many wives as you want to,
yeah.
but her father didn't go that route, so
He didn't
why
go
did
that route. He was
he
a
go that route?
one-on-one.
Yeah. So I would love to know, how did that come to be?
Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to go there. It's gonna be the orphan. Let's go to the time when, like you say, her father came, was working out. The rebels, they killed him. Her father. Hashtag small spoilers. We're not gonna give it all away. This is the beginning. And then the mom. There was a guy that the rebels cut his hands off,
Yes.
and he went over to their house, and then her mom sort of nursed him up. So I don't know if they were saying maybe she got part of that fever from dressing that man
Him. Yeah.
him up.
Yes.
Part of that.
Yes. We have a Lois Davis in the house. Welcome, Lois.
Welcome, welcome, Lois. Um, so we get to that part, when he takes her to the orphan.
Hmm.
There was well, first of all, the way they treated her. Well, now she's at her uncle's house, Abdullah house, and then she got the she for some reason she called the mothers, or even in the orphan home, Famata. And if Famata was very mean, very,
Hmm.
very mean.
Just like the
Um, yeah. So they wouldn't really didn't want to really feed her. They kind of disclosed the fact that the mom was dying. And then finally Famata says, look, because it was some days and she didn't see her mom and stuff. And her mom always gave her, her meals. She just backed away and would prefer her daughter to eat versus herself. So Famata would, you know, kind of torment her and
hmm
like, look at your mom. She's dying. So earlier we talked about the two things that she had that was her prized possession. She had her notebook and her pen,
Yes.
and then she had her mother's mat.
Matt.
Remember her mother grass mat.
Hmm.
Uncle
She
Abdullah
left that
wouldn't
on
let
the
her
truck.
get that.
She left that on the truck. She wish she would, because that was something that was a part of her mom. Um,
Yeah.
and I think the pencil and the notebook was actually from her dad.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. And so even having those items, she said she wanted so bad. But the negotiation before he took off with the bed, the negotiation is Abdullah, he wanted money. But the
Hmm.
orphan said, look, we don't offer money. We house them. They get a chance to go to America. They got somewhere to, they got some food and all that. But for him to, well, first of all, remember she spoke different languages,
Yes. Yes.
and she
And
was able to speak
that
to the
young,
orphan man in his
that
language.
young, 4 to 5 different languages. That was amazing.
That was amazing. And so even though Abdullah, I told you I'm a talker, I'm sorry. Even though Abdullah didn't see the worth in Mabinti, that orphan did. When he saw her or heard her
Yes.
speaking in those languages, that's when I think, what do you think? That's when I think Abdullah saw some prize, cha-ching,
Yeah.
and he was like, nope, well, I'll
That
give you
was
some
his
money.
goal.
Because when he
That
saw
was his
that,
goal, to get some money off her.
right,
And
that's
then I
all he
wonder how
wanted.
much it was. I wonder how much it was, because he said, "Oh, this will feed my entire family for a
Yeah, he
while."
did. He did. I don't know how much it
And
was,
how
but
much money was it to
yeah,
feed 14, 15, 16 people?
exactly. That's what he said. And he took off. But the part before he took off really got me. Did that part get you when they were tugging over her, and
Yeah,
then
because
when
he was
her,
going to take her back and go sell her at, like you say, the cocoa plantation. He could got some money from the cocoa plant. He wanted that back. That was like money, ching, like you said, over her head.
exactly, and she ain't number 4 years old
That's
at this time. She's
huh?
4 years old. She's 4 years
Yeah.
old. at this time. And I'm like, oh my goodness, she's 4 years old. Her prized possession and the pen and the notebook pad. I was so
Mhm.
scared when it fell from under her because she could strap it because she's young and she doesn't have anything. She can strap it on her chest. But when it fell from under her, what did you think about that? When the notepad and everything just fell from her.
You had already told me that you she thought that they were gonna take it away, but
You thought
no,
they would
he
take.
gave it
What were
right
your
back.
highlights though?
But if it would have been her uncle, he would have probably thrown it away or tore it up, burnt it. So
Anything.
I was glad that he let her keep it because that was, like I say, something that one of her parents gave her. That's all she had, and the clothes on her back.
Yes.
If that, if that.
If that, did you were you able to visit the orphan home in the book? Did you visit that chapter? What
Yeah,
happened
but
to
she
her when
number
she,
27.
what happened
She's
to her
number
when
she
she was in there?
was the child.
Huh?
I got to. She was the 27th child. Hey,
Yes.
Lexi. Hey, Lexi. How you doing, girl? Hey. One of my former students.
So you got to when she was a 27th child. Did you meet
Yeah,
her friend who also was Mabente?
the same name with the same name. Yeah,
Same name. What
yes.
are the odds of that? Having Mabente?
That's a blessing. That was God. That was intervention. That was divine intervention. So they could stick together and pull out of this thing together. I think. I don't know.
I think so too. Because number 20, 26, and 27. And then she was Mabente Sama and Mabente Bangor. So I like that. But oh, I'm gonna have to give some spoilers away. Queenie,
Go
did you
ahead. Go
let me
ahead.
ask you, okay, at the orphan home, Famata, very, very mean. Famata, like she said in the book, that number 27 got everything last. Barely got any
Mhm.
food, barely got anything like that. And so not only did she have a name where they call her Devil Child and Spotted Child, well,
Mhm.
Mabente Sama had a name too because she wet the bed. So they put
Yeah,
her
that's
bed.
how she took up for her friend, even though it was that first night or first day they were
Mm-hmm.
together. She
They were
took
together.
up for her, even though she could. Well, she did get. They both got whipped, but
Yeah,
I was very surprised that being that she was in like a cocoon all this time, and then for her to come out right then and support her new friend, and that was I like that. That
I
was
like that too. And
that was
when she wet, I like that. When she wet the grass mat, they would shame them. They would have to go outside and put the and chapter 3 is called When the Rain. If you look
Mhm.
at that one, when the
It had
rain,
started raining really, really bad that day.
that
Yes.
day when it rained, and that's when they went out there. And there were times when Mabinti just wanted to die. She wanted to die. Here she is, 4 years old, wanted to die. And there was a particular time where it was lightning outside and it struck right next to her. And she was hoping she died. And her friend Samar, let's just call her Samar and Mabinti so you'll know the difference. She's like pulling her in there.
Mhm.
So
Okay. Another thing where I think where I stopped there is she tore. Did she tear that page out of the magazine with the ballerina and give the magazine to the mama
wait, wait,
mama?
wait. Before that, how did the magazine get to her? That was the thing. Remember when she was
I thought it was
outside?
windy or something. It was windy and it got hung between the two of the rails and the fence. Ain't that how I got there?
It was the wind was blowing. This is so crazy. The rebels are out there. They told her don't. They told them not to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
So the wind is blowing in the magazine right in her face. The magazine flew to her right in her face.
Okay.
That's the amazing part. She it just came right to her and then she brought it with her and she held it tight and she was able to have that. She was able to hide that and have that.
But I thought she tore the page with the ballerina on it and gave the magazine to the mama. try to get on her good side.
Mm-mm. The
Maybe I was
mama
wrong.
was not. The mama was not living at this time. This
No, I'm
was
talking about the mama in the orphan, Mama F.
Fatima
I thought
saw
that's
that, but she was up. No, she didn't tear it. She didn't tear it up. She treated her so bad that she was abusing her and everything, and told
no.
her
I'm saying when the magazine flew in her face, I thought she tore that particular page out and gave Mama Fatima the magazine to try to smooth things over. Or did she keep the magazine?
she kept the magazine.
Okay, okay. I
No,
was thinking
no,
she gave.
no. Mabinta kept it. No, she could care less. She didn't care about her. She just let her have that little piece right there, and just let her know you'll never be that. You'll never be that. That won't be you. The spots and stuff you have, But she had a teacher. Hashtag spoiler. She had a teacher that she brought that magazine to, and the teacher would teach her. This was when her educated teacher.
That's why I ended it. I didn't get to finish. That's why I said.
Oh, her teacher. There's some things that happen. You guys are gonna have to read the book. I can't give that away.
And the teacher seemed like she is a type of person that's going to take her under her wing and help her through
She
this.
did. She did. But there's some crazy stuff that happened to the teacher. The teacher did
Because of
talk to her
her,
about that.
because of her,
Hmm.
because of her, because of her.
Yes.
Okay.
She acknowledged the teacher, and she acknowledged the well, she talked about the teacher, but she acknowledged the a ballerina lady. If you read through, was like saved her life. Having that magazine saved her life, gave her hope.
Alan,
Yes,
is this totally you want me? Because you don't say what it is.
yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Tell him we on a live.
We on the live. He knows. But
Mira, M- Mira, Myra, Mira,
mhm,
Myra,
mhm.
Myra. Welcome, Myra. How you doing? How you doing, honey?
I can't see the names. Do you want to go to chapter 3 and look at that?
That's what we're. That's what we. Is I'm doing it right?
Come over some.
There it is. That's the book we're discussing tonight. I only read 8 chapters. But Miss Ellen finished the book, so I'm gonna let her take over from here because I don't know anything else. I got a lot to go, Donna.
Yeah, you got a lot to go, but it was so much that happened, guys, to Mabinti. And I'm not giving the whole story away, but just to see what type of trauma she had. It might come to your mind since you read chapter 8, Queenie. There was time when she was in there, and Fatima, like I say, used to beat her up. But there was a time where Fatima did something. She allowed her child to desecrate Mabinti.
Yeah, on the mat. Yeah, that I got. I heard. I got. I read that part. Who? That was a child that was in an orphan that Mama Fatima made do that.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
that was awful.
Yes.
I couldn't believe that while she was sleeping, she wakes up to that.
See, being it's a true story, it's probably the lady probably did now, but I would go back and get her. When I read that part, I was like, if I go find something gonna have to be done to her. We gonna have to do it back to her. Something.
Mm. So there's a lot of things in here that I don't want to give all away. This is a really good story. Um, there's going to be, what kind of emotions did you have reading this story, Queenie? What was your emotions from start to finish? Well, from start to where you at now?
She got the long end of the stick, and I pray that she progress, which
Long end or short
think
end?
I want her to really take flight. Oh, that's a good SMR.
Hmm.
But but um it says orphan to ballerina. So I'm praying that she, even though she had to suffer all what she did, that she did do come out on top. I want to show you some of her pictures. I'm assuming
And
these.
she did come out on top. She did. When they showed the pictures of her and oh, those pictures are so nice of Mabindi.
Losing my page in my book.
And she showed her spot. Do you remember? Oh, so you haven't got to the part where she was adopted. You still at the orphan
Yeah, I'm
thing,
still
right?
at the orphan. Um, I'm trying to see.
Did you know anything about what happened to her outside when the rebels came? Did you read that part? What happened to her when the rebels came?
No,
OMG, you guys are gonna have to read that too.
okay, there she go.
Right now, she's in her 20s or something. That's her and her adopted mom, and she soared. She soared, and like she said, being a ballerina girl was mostly for
Yeah,
white girls. And she was told that she is. She was told that she was literally told, okay, you can't be a ballerina because, and I said this earlier, because of you being a black girl and you're going to get muscular, you're going to be top heavy. And that, I'm glad she didn't let that deter her from her dream.
and you know what? All she wanted was friends.
That's all she
Somebody
wanted.
to love her. And you see where in the orphanage every day she came up with a different game. And then
Yes.
and the kids were like, "What's the game for today?" She every day she had to make up a new game. I thought that was
I
kind of
thought that
neat.
was good. She wanted to be liked. She really
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be liked.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I like the fact that Sama, she she seen her and cared and liked her unconditionally, regardless of what's going on with her. And there was a lot of, you didn't get that to that part, and I'm not going to give that spoiler away, but I will say this, but there was a lot of traumatic things worse than what was going on. She had a teacher that was good for her. Something happened to the teacher, which you're not going to believe. It does mention in the book what happened to her teacher. And going back to the orphan home, I don't know if you remember when um, Mabente Sama, when she had American family that was coming for her, which she shared uh, uh, the DePrince family. That was actually Sama family, and she shared her with her. So they both, when she called, when the mom called, hashtag spoiler, when the adoptive mom called, she asked for Mabente, and the orphan said that there's two. And then she didn't know there was two, and she said, "I'll take both of them." And that was just wonderful,
So both of them ended up being living together.
living together. They both end up living together. And there were times when folks had pictures, and so they would see their American family. Well, Labenti had no family. She had nothing to look at. And so Sama She let her share it like it was her own family, and it did come true. And they were very sick. They left Africa with chicken pox, loaded. They was not healthy when they left Africa.
Oh wow.
So this book here, I'm going to write my review on it. I give it 5 stars. It took me from a lot of emotions. The pictures that you've seen in there, and if you have it on Kindle, if you guys get it on Kindle, the pictures are there too. Sometimes when you see, well, in my experience, when you see that there was pictures, there would be dots, but this they allowed the full pictures to be uploaded on Kindle as well. And so as I was getting to the end of the book and I saw those pictures, I felt like I was in that journey with her, and to know what she came from and know all the abuse firsthand, what happened to her at her young age. And another small spoiler was when her adopted mom, her name Michaela, that name,
Mhm.
her adopted mom adopted other children. So her the 2 sons that she had died of AIDS. It was some type of blood something that happened caught to them. So she took that name and gave it, which is Michael, and gave it Michaela to her. And then she also changed the other orphan girl's name. She ended up adopting even more.
Yes, yes.
And there's quite a few things that happen, being that her adopted mom parents are white and she's black. So you can imagine there was a lot of stuff going on about her being, with a white family. How does she feel? She can't do your hair, especially when you're this ballerina girl and then you have your hair how your mother did. But she knew how to braid. Elaine, the prince knew how to braid. She braided her hair, and then she come to find out these different things when she, get into ballet, how they pull their hair back tight. They do weave. They did her hair so tight, her hair almost fell out. So you know how us, we got to have that ponytail tight.
Yes.
But that's pretty much all without giving out all the stillers, stiller spoilers or spoiler stillers. It is so much more in this book, guys, that I don't want to give away. There, like I say, there's a lot of emotions that you will go through. You will hate Uncle Abdullah. I don't think I felt sorry for him at all.
Mm, mm. All right. You say you give it how many stars out of
I give
five?
it, I give it 5 stars.
5 out of 5. All right. And
Hmm.
what's our next book? Don't I can't, my mind. What's our next book? Or
Well,
is it
actually,
coming out book? No, this still March, ain't it? So we got April. What's April's book?
well, for April book,
I can't
it
remember.
is going to be a health book, and we're going to. Well, we're doing 2 books, Queenie. The first book that we're doing is
Oh,
doesn't
your book, yeah.
God doesn't love us all the same. And that character there, you have Janine. This is the book here. You have Janine. First, it's God Doesn't Like Ugly. It's by Nina. Can y'all see that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's by Nina. Oops, I'm trying to bring it up. Let's see. Tell me, y'all. Tell me when.
Use it right now.
Okay. So by Nina Gilbo. And this book is about a girl. She has some problems. There's some underlying things that she has going on in her life from her past abuse and everything. So that's all she can focus on. So with her focusing on that, she doesn't have. It's Washington D.C. That's where it's centered in, and she despises homeless people. But then she finds herself one December, in the month of December, caring for Vera, who is a homeless elderly woman. And she's kind
Wow.
of thinking, how did she get that way? So she found herself caring for her, even though she don't want that. And then our next book within that same month, because we're doing health, which is Autism Month, and we're going to talk to Kristen. We call him Chris. Um, His name is it's spelled Yordanov. Y'all say it. But I'm gonna get the book here, and I wish I was one of those people that could just say people name like that, but I'm not.
Me
I
neither.
am not. I am not, guys. So I'm gonna bring it up here so y'all can see it, and we're gonna talk about autism.
When y'all see me look off, I'm looking to see if we have any comments,
Okay.
but we don't.
Okay. So that's what we're gonna be doing.
And we're
Um,
gonna do Baba Joe book, Loving My Daddy to Death in December, in May.
mm-hmm.
And we
Barbara
still need,
Joe, you there? I can't wait.
and we still got Michelle Obama book.
Yeah, we on
I can
backlog.
just get this editing out the way. I can get on my books. I'm telling you, I gotta finish up this one we got. Taking flight now. Then I got piecing me together, which I started that Wednesday. And I got 6 arcs and something else. Oh, and becoming. So
Mm-hmm.
I got 9 books. I need to be finished like yesterday. But
Deadlines. So for the second time, I didn't pull it up, but usually I know exactly where it is when I don't see it. But it's talking about autism and health. That's what it's talking about. Um, I did get a chance to like talk to him on Goodread. He's not only talking about autism, but he's saying how you can keep your special needs child healthy. There's certain things that they eat, is certain type of diet, and so he's more on the wellness side of autism. So that's why I was very interested in that book, and I'm looking forward to reading it. It's more of a educational. It's lots of educational and things to know about autism, and you'll be very enlightened. So I'm looking forward to that. And then also in May 7th, we're going to talk to, this is going to be a live, Queenie. Guys, this is the book here, and it's Nakia Cherie. We're going to talk about that. The Confident Woman. Here's that. So we got, I think you do. Lots of reading, y'all. Tell y'all we do lots of reading here. Sorry about the glare. So that's our May book. 2 books in May, 1 in April, and
the
our reading.
confident woman.
Yep. The Confident Woman. Once she was in her, wait, once she has you in her sight, it's over. And Nakia is in this book. It's Essence magazine best-selling author.
Do we know her?
Yes, we do. Well, I know her personally. I've known her for more than 10 years,
Is that the
and
lady with the artistic?
do the arts and stuff, do the earrings, and I don't know.
No,
I don't
no.
think it's the same one that you're
No,
thinking of.
is that with the autism son?
No, that's not her.
Okay.
Nope. She doesn't have any children that I know of.
Okay.
That's that one I can show you. Well, thank you guys for all being here. And Queenie, I know I pulled you out. Queenie always, she'll tough it out with me. You pulled me out yesterday. I pulled you out today.
How you pull me out? You didn't pull
Yeah,
me
when
out.
I pulled you from your editing cave.
Oh,
So
that's what you mean. Okay. I thought you I'm like, when you pull me out, what you talking
pulled you from your editing cave.
about?
I
Okay.
don't I don't know if you guys can see that. But this is the one that's not a good just do.
You.
But it's called Autism Well-Being Plan: How to Get Your Child Healthy. YOR your Jordanvo. Jordanvo. I know I said it wrong.
Are you gonna have him next month on your channel?
Yes, we're gonna have him. He's gonna do a Facebook Live with Q&A on his page, from his page, and then we'll do a private Zoom chat with him to talk more about this. Your Denivo, and he is from Portugal. He reigns from Portugal, so I'm excited about that. So that's what we have. We do lots and lots of reading. We try to bring wonderful pages your way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited about this. We try to keep Wendy and myself. We try to keep the books according to what's going on in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we try to keep on, because being in the know and having those right books on the right timing. It's all about timing. It's all about timing. So, Queenie, I know I've talked a lot. You have anything to say? I know you're doing in your editing cave, and you'll be happy to know, Miss Queenie, that I've been doing some more research today for my
Good.
book. For my book, y'all roasted me yesterday. Woo, y'all roasted me. Wendy was done with me. She's like, all right. But I did do some more search, especially on being drafted in the military, because my dad was drafted.
Right. Okay.
And then about the tree, to see what type of trees they had in Chicago. It may not be that exact tree, but it had to be big enough and shady enough. So I got a tree. You know, like I said, it may not be the exact, but it was really good doing the research.
Mm-hmm.
So I did research, y'all.
All right. You heard it. This was our, what's this, March book discussion of Taking Flight. I hope you go out and purchase it. I'm going to continue reading it sometime in the near future. Try to read it within the next month. And get a full review. And thank you, Miss Ellen, for coming in late this afternoon, and doing the book discussion. If all minds are clear.
Oh, it's not clear. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, y'all. I am, but I'm not. Okay, Queenie, I had to say this because you did a wonderful job with us talking about Self-Made with Madam C.J. Walker.
Mm-hmm.
So we all are going to get our books for the real story. And I did put a clip on that same video that I had of her granddaughter talking. And it's a YouTube video. If y'all go and see that. And she's talking about what she didn't like, what she did like, and the 5 things that were not true in doing that movie. And she said that she wanted to know your take on it. She wanted to know your honest opinion of how you feel about what she's saying. So I did do some things there. So we're gonna come back. Queenie and I is gonna be the actual book, the actual facts of what went on with Self-Made Madam J. Walker. So we're gonna have our facts together and we're gonna talk. And if anybody out there that is on the line now, we want 10 people, which include Queenie and myself. That will be, actually, we need 8 people. So only 8 seats are available, but you must read the book first, just like we had to view the movie and get our facts about based on what we've seen in the movie. And Queenie don't play. She made us dig deep. We thought we was in college. The questions she gave us, and good thing we did our little study on watching the movie. So Queenie, she actually interesting provoking questions about the book. So if you guys want to do that, post your name there that I want to join you guys, and you have to get the book, and we'll be discussing the book itself, the facts, as the granddaughter said.
I was trying to say something. I forgot. Now, yeah, I try to pull out stuff, but last night, today I didn't read the book, so that's why I don't have that much information. Because I like Miss Ellen said, I've been in the Bat Cave. I've been in the editing cave for the last couple of weeks. Actually,
Yeah.
the last 5 weeks I've been in there, and I have not had a chance to read hardly anything. But I will, like I said, finish the book because I'm a person. If I start a book, I will finish it.
She will.
And do a review. But I want to talk to you after this live. But before I forget what I got to say.
Okay.
And
you guys will also see my review as well.
Yes. Is all minds clear?
All minds are clear.
All right. You heard it from the literary ambassador and
Ellen Sutter of ESP Presents and ESP Book Chat, where we bring page turners your way.
all righty. See y'all later. Bye.
There's your ambassador. I didn't see that.
Oh, you want to see that? Oh, I seen you today when you said ambassador.
Yeah, but you do this.
The literary ambassador, Queenie Clem. All right, we'll talk to y'all next time. See you later.
Thank you, guys. Bye.